what can you tell me about yourself? I bet you can describe yourself in some pretty fun ways, like you're fun, maybe smart, courageous, among a bunch of other words. But if I look at your hand, I could probably tell you all of those things and possibly your future. Palm reading is something anyone can do. And today I will be talking to you about a brief history of it. I will be doing a palm reading session, and I will be talking about the benefits for you and society. We aren't sure when palm reading really started. We think that it might have started in ancient India and spread to countries around it like Tibet, China, and Egypt. But it started getting popular around the 60s when things like that were really in. And after that, it wasn't as popular, but around like 80s and 90s, it was popular again. And now today, it's just a hobby that a lot of people have, and a lot of people have jobs in the industry. Now, before we get into the reading itself, we will be looking at the lines, so you know what you're looking at. The first line we have at the top by your fingers is your heart line. The one in the middle is your headline, and the one at the bottom right by your thumb is your lifeline. There are a few different types of lines we'll be talking about, so if your line is long or short, if it has feathers and looks kind of like that, or it could have X's, or it could be curved or straight, or it could be deep or faint. There are lots of different ones, and just looking at your hand, you can learn a lot about yourself. You can tell a lot of things about someone just by looking at them, even though these aren't really proven. If someone keeps their hand up and really clean, has lots of polish on it, has no calluses, you can tell who they are. If they have lots of calluses or if they're dirty, you can tell a lot about them. So why not your lines? So do I have a volunteer? All right. So if you want to follow along, please do. You will always use your dominant hand. So whatever hand you write with, which is mostly everyone in here probably has your right hand. So we'll be starting with the top one, your heart line. Your heart line, it symbolizes romance, relationships, friendships. So if you have a longer line that stretches more than half of your palm, that means that you have a lot of interest in relationships, whether it be romantic or just friendships in general. If it's curvy, that means you're more carefree when it comes to relationships. You like to let people roam. If it's straight, it means you're more practical and like things to be quite methodical. Ethan here has a long line, and he has X's and feathers, so that means he will probably have lots of relationships, romantic or not. It's curvy, so it means that he's more carefree, and since it's long, he has lots of interest in relationships, whether it be romantic or not. Now, your headline is in the middle. It symbolizes intellect. If it is curvy, it means that you like to, it means you have a short attention span, especially if it's short and curvy, it means you have a short attention span. If it's long and straight, that means you're more practical. You like to take caution and think about all your options before you make a decision. If it's short, it means you're more spontaneous and you like to do things with your hands rather than learn about them. Ethan has a curved line that's long, so that means that you plan things out well. And since it is curvy, that means you have more of a short attention span. Now, the lifeline symbolizes destiny. And you might think that because it's longer that you'll live longer, but that's not really the point of it. It is just to talk about your destiny and your future. If it is longer and more curved, if it's longer and curved, that means you are very energetic and enthusiastic about what you do. You're passionate and you have a clear choice of what you think you want to do. If it feathers off, it means you have lots of choices in life and you have very many interests. If it is closer to your thumb and straight, it means that you really know what you want to do, you're very practical, and that you will have an easier life. Ethan has a very, very faint line, so that means that you're more easily manipulated. And since it is very long, you know what you want to do. And you have lots of options since there are feathers at the bottom of this. So I hope you learned some more about yourself. Thank you for coming up here as my volunteer. So why would this be beneficial to you? You might not believe in it, but it could be a fun hobby. And if you do believe in it, then it really could set your path, or it could tell you a lot about yourself. You might not believe it, but some people follow this like religiously. And there are hundreds of thousands of jobs where people just read palms and cards and things like that. So next time for next trimester, when you can't think of some interesting facts about yourself, maybe you should just look down at your hands. Thank you.